Who am I? I am not the body, but I am sure you have heard it many, many times before, many, many times from different gurus, different traditions, different gyanis, different masters, even different pretenders, even from people who have just read about it in a book. So I am not a body. I am not this body. I can see I am not this body because when the body changes, it grows fat, it gains weight, it loses weight, becomes slim, becomes strong, becomes weak. I do not notice any qualitative and quantitative change in myself. So, if I do not change with the change in the body, then it's logical that I am not the body. So, if I am not the body, then who am I? I am this consciousness, I am this awareness, I am that by which I know, I am that by which I hear or the body hears. I am that by which I see, I am that by which I feel. I am this awareness, I am this consciousness. And I'm sure this too you have heard many, many times from many different sources, from many gurus, in many different traditions, from people who know, from people who really feel it that way firsthand, and also from people who have only read about it. So, what I am really saying differently, am I saying anything new, or am I repeating the same thing that I have heard, I have read, you have heard, you have read many times before? So, I am consciousness, I am awareness, that is true. It. I am the consciousness that is born right now. Consciousness is not a thing. Consciousness is not something that lives. Consciousness is something that is more like a function, more like an happening, more like a phenomena, like temperature of the body, like the light born out of candle, or light born out of sun, or the light heat born out of any fire. Like light, consciousness is created, consciousness gets born, it it gets created right now. You might look at sun and you might see that the light is always there. You might think that this light has been there for billions of years. Yet, reality is that this light that is coming here right now is not the same light that was there billions of years ago. Same thing with this body, this consciousness, this awareness by which I am talking right now, by which I know right now, by which I can hear right now, by which I can feel right now. This consciousness is not the one that was born when this body was born. This consciousness is not the one that was there in my last night's dream or in my last night's deep dreamless sleep. This consciousness is now. This consciousness is born only now. Just like this step that I am taking. Just like the sound of tree leaves under my shoes. Just like feeling of the sunlight on my skin. This consciousness is only now. The body is producing it using body, using the neural network, using the brain. Just like body produces body temperature, just like the heart beats, just like it pumps blood, just like digestion happens, cells divide. This consciousness too is produced. This consciousness too is created. This consciousness too is a function, and it is the function of the body. I know it might sound very unspiritual, it might sound very materialistic, but as far as I know, as far as I can see, this is the truth. This is what it is. And any one of us can examine it, can see it, can know it firsthand. Even those who think they are enlightened, realized, even those who think they are masters, and even those who think they are just ignorant, who think they do not know. This truth can be seen, can be examined, can be observed by anybody. As the body changes, consciousness does change. You can try taking some drugs, you can try taking sleeping pills, you can try taking alcohol or tranquilizers or any kind of anesthetic or go under general anesthesia, and you can see that the consciousness that you call I, consciousness by which I know, consciousness with which I identify, consciousness that I call I am, consciousness to which I give an ID, a name, consciousness by which I know changes as the body changes. When body becomes unconscious, when body goes under general anesthetic, there is no more consciousness, there is no more I, there is no more I am, there is no more ID, and there is no more that by which I know. It, the body is alive, the digestion is happening, heart is still beating, body is still pumping blood, cells are still dividing. It, this ID, this I, this I am, this consciousness is not there. And once you notice that, once you observe that, once you know that, then you know that this consciousness, this I am, on which we have created entire story, including the story of enlightenment, including the story of realization, including the story of reincarnation, moksha, nirvana, birth, death. The very base, the very root of this story is non-existent, is false. It's not that consciousness is not there, just like light is there. Consciousness too is there, but this consciousness is not a thing. It is not something that can really get born, die, or can get born again, get reincarnated, or can get awakened. Just like light, this consciousness is as it is. It is as it is, always, all the time, eternally. Changes only to the body. By the body, what comes into consciousness changes. Just like if you add different scent, if you add different perfume, the scent that comes out of fire, the scent that comes out of the light of the candle changes. Same way, with the change in the body, what becomes visible in consciousness too changes. It, just like light, consciousness is always same. It is always pure. But just as it is absurd to ask if light get incarnated, if light can get enlightened, if light can get realization, or even to ask when does light get born, when does light die, doesn't make sense. In same way, asking about the birth and death, enlightenment, realization, reincarnation of consciousness doesn't make sense. Because just like body temperature, just like heat of the fire, just like light of the candle, light of sun, consciousness is a phenomena. It's something that happens, even if it happens every moment. It is always new. It is always fresh.